very dear friend of mine, single guy. Well, I was asking him about a particular woman he had been dating. And so he was like, man, I had to kick her to the curb. He said, man, we sat down and I asked her, what value are you bringing to me? She told us, man, I don't know. So wait, Walker, wait, because I know you're activated now. I actually have a lot of respect for what this brother's doing. Value brought to us is being lost. It has been positioned to where
we bring the value.
We bring the value.
This is Caesar Walker, the cool, calm, collected one.
And I'm Ronnie Gatry, the emotional one.
And we are the Tipping Point Podcast, your source for the black male's perspective.
Tipping Point Podcast.
So I had to catch myself in that moment. I heard him out, of course, and I had to recant that. I was like, man, forget what I just said. You what you're doing is a good thing, especially at the stage you're doing it now before, feelings get involved and you start putting jewelry on fingers and all that stuff. No. Establish yourself and what you want to bring to this relationship at this point. And then if it's good enough, well, then take the next steps. But if you have nothing, if
she does not know, but she knows what she wants.
Oh, and Walker,
she knows what she wants.
You know what I asked him? I said, man, let the tables be turned. Let a brother have nothing. What the woman gonna do?
He won't even get in the door with nothing.
That's what I'm saying, man.
He can't even approach her with nothing.
Yes, but Walker, you are right. It has to go both ways. It can't be sloped one way.
Like, think about it, Gat. There was a time where a blue collar guy, or guy just working, family would go to another family, talk to them about their daughter, put them together. He knew what he was getting. Getting sex. Help me. Someone to protect and provide for, right? Today, guys who got their act together, they can get sex outside of this marriage thing. The incentive. What else? What's the incentive?
Sex is never enough to save any relationship. Never. As good as it is, it's never enough.
But that was how guys got sex.
Right.
But
it's a different age now.
Hookup culture now.
Right. But
you ain't even got to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
You just need the right app.
Facts.
We got a problem.
Hey, so the bait to pull guys in ain't even there anymore.
Right.
So guys are asking, okay, do you know what? Basically, guys are asking, do you know what men want? Do you even know? And yes, we're not a monolith, but there are some basic things that men know that women want. Basic things like have a job.
Don't know any woman that does not want that.
and preferably, depending on the type of woman you want, it should pay well. Right? That's just general. Protect her. She should feel safe around you. Right? Be masculine. Right? These are things that we know. Just off rip. You can switch out woman. These things will still apply.
Yeah.
There may be some nuances and some variableness
Straight
in
women
here.
though. Straight women. Let's just be for clarity.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
I had to do that. We're in that.
We're in what?
We're in that age.
This is a men channel. Okay. And some dudes don't even care. You ain't got to be, whatever.
Right.
But what I'm saying is you can switch out the woman and those three things I named still apply in some form or fashion. What do they know what we want?
Do they care?
Well, that's another question. I don't.
But these are questions that go back to our main point here.
Yeah.
If these are genuine concerns, how can, and I'm using you as an example, but how can you go out and promote and say, hey, get out there and get married?
What I would share to someone who's really, because see, there's guys I asked that question, what do you want? Because I want guys to really search their souls and be honest with themselves. Because we got to be honest with ourselves too as men, okay? There are men out there who do. I know guys, man. If there was such a way to live vicariously through them, oh my goodness, they make being single look good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they have access to sex. They've had sex with some, and they've had an impressive list. I'll put it to you that way.
Yeah.
But even these guys in confidence are telling me, man, I'm getting older. I mean, I'm looking for some more. Like it's only so many hot chicks you can have sex with. It's like eventually it's like, okay, I need something more. I'm looking for something. I would like to settle down.
Right. It's inevitable.
In confidence. I'm hearing some guys share this. There's some dudes is like, man, I want a kid. I do want to have children. You know what I mean? I want to have a child. You get old, you start thinking about your namesake. You start thinking about, okay, are you in that department? Because if you're in that category, I will encourage you to consider marriage. Mm. Because if you care about those kids, you want to give them the best possibility and the best environment, the best chance to succeed and reach their potential. Statistically, we ain't got to list all the research.
We know what this is.
Kids who have two parents in that home, the odds are better, right?
Right.
So if you care about them babies, you care about them kids you want to have, and you want to give them the best starts with you in that house. And if you don't want to be married, what I would share with gentlemen is you have to be more sexually disciplined than even some married guys. Mm. Because that's how you get caught up and have kids outside of marriage. And now you're right back at the same disadvantage point that men would have had getting married. You still getting hit. If it's child support, not being able to see you, you're right back there. And now your children don't have you in the house. So if you want to have children, you may want to consider marriage. And the way you look at women is, do I want this woman training my children? Do I want my daughter to be like her? Yeah, you may want to sleep with her. You may be sexually attracted to her, but do you want your daughter to grow up to be her? That would be my advice to guys looking at, do you want your baby girl, you know, the one you got that pistol for? Do you want her to grow up and be like that woman you busting down?
Oof. That's a real question.
If not,
we know the answer to that.
We know the answer to that. So guys got to start searching their souls a little bit and be honest with themselves. I understand the threat and the fear of it, but men, we have an evaluation problem too when it comes to women. We evaluate bad.
True.
Right?
Well, before we get there, I mean, I think there's a lot of value in looking in that mirror too. If you're not having girls and you're having boys, do you want your son to be like what you're seeing in the mirror?
Yeah.
That's a real question as well.
Well, you as well as that woman. Talking to a coworker, she was like, I'm glad I didn't have boys. I'm glad I didn't. I was like, what do you mean? She admitted it. I never thought she would admit it. She was like, I'm too masculine. Oh, so you all do know. You do know y'all masculine.
She said that?
To my face. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Glad you didn't have a boy, but it's actually equally just as bad that you had girls.
She is masculine, though.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. These are real things. And yes, as men, again, soul searching. What kind of man do you want your boys to grow up and be like you? Do you want your daughters to grow up to be with a man like you? Right?
Right.
So you got to do a lot of soul searching. What are your values? See, my values are aligned with my faith. My faith promotes what?
Marriage.
Are you a person of faith? Do you subscribe to that? What's guiding your values? You know what I'm saying? Do you have a value system? Do you know? If you don't, I don't know.
Right.
I'm not quite sure if this is it, because when times get tough, Gatry, talk to me now. When times get tough, what have you leaned into, Gatry?
It's been my faith.
What has your faith got you out of?
Some very grave situations.
I've had some addictions, bro.
Yeah.
My faith had to pull me out of that hole. What is your guiding principles? Do you have something when you get in a hole can pull you out of? This is soul searching time. What kind of man are you? And if we believe it takes a village to raise a child, what is that village comprised of? Families led by who?
Man.
What we gonna do for these kids? Because we still having them. We're still having them. We're still having them. I understand the risk, but I also understand what we're doing outside of marriage too. We're not faring any better in some respects. And I get it. I get it. I get it. I started off understanding, but we got to be honest about what we're doing if we're not going to be married.
Right.
So that's what I would share with men. It really, I'm dealing with men about themselves.
It's like we've said so many times on here, like the more you invest in yourself to know yourself, the better you are going to be. Yeah. You end up with. Yeah.
For sure.
And that is, I'm not going to say that's easy, because it's not.
And
I'm 40 and I'm still learning about self.
And we're not going to be perfect.
Right.
But man, you got to have something to get you through. And a lot of people are getting married and they don't have anything to get them through, Gad.
Mercy.
You know what I'm saying? I've been blessed to have people I can turn to and hold me accountable. I've been blessed to have people who've been examples to me. I've been blessed to have that. I've been blessed to have my faith. I got a lot of tools in my tool belt. A lot of people don't have it. So if you don't have it, why would I send you out there naked and unprotected?
Right.
So I get it. I understand the fear of it. I do.
Yeah.
I do.
So what are you saying to me? I'm a single guy. Hey man.
Give me an example.
Okay. Hey man, look. I'm out here, I'm single. I heard the tipping point. Y'all talk about marriage a lot. Bro, I'm thinking about it. But man, it's cool in these streets. I'm getting what I want.
Mm-hmm. I would ask you, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Where do you see yourself in 15 years? What does your social life look like? You know what I mean? Are you still out here in these streets? Are you more settled now? You know, you ain't got time to be running. You know what I mean? You got stuff that you building something now.
Yeah.
What does life look like for you 15 years later? Do you have children? What do you want? It may not be for you right now,
right.
or at all.
Well, for kicks and grins, it's like, man, I haven't thought about that. Like, I'm a couple years out of college.
Yeah,
putting time in my career. In the meantime,
in college, if you just got out of college,
yeah,
no, I wouldn't encourage you to be thinking about marriage.
Right.
I'm thinking, I'm telling you, work on your character and build yourself up. Whatever it is you're doing in your purpose, you go after it as if your life depended on it. You're running a marathon. You're not sprinting. Don't get caught up in what your peers are doing right now. Your 20s is for building. 20s and your 30s is for building. Life is going to start getting really fun around 40, when you really start reaping the benefits of the work you're putting in.
Yeah.
For men, it's always been the long game for men. Always been the long game. And it's tough to get that over in the mind of a young guy. Your 20s is for building. And it's not just building something outside of you, but you're building you as well. You're building your character. I mean, we talked about Ime. Build yourself up in character. Because, again, as black men, we got to have that with our success. Right?
Right.
Develop integrity. Develop those things. Develop sexual discipline. Don't get caught up out here. You know what I mean? Don't punt your future because you got hot in the pants for some girl who you probably won't even end up being with 10 years from now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So focus on your purpose, man. Focus on building yourself up. And then you need to start thinking long term, because that's what leaders do. You're a leader. Leaders think long game, end game. What's the end game for you? When you leave this earth, who will be carrying on what you've built? Will they be carrying on something you built? That would be my advice to a young brother. And if you thinking legacy, then you may want to consider what marriage is, because that's all marriage is. The Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children.
I got some work to do.
A good man. It's challenging me too, bro.
Sure.
It's challenging me too. I ain't got all the answers, but these are things I wish someone told me.
Right.
I wish someone told me. Man, I think I would be so much further along if I hit my professional career just getting it. Just grit. I don't care where I gotta move to. Man, I would think I'm doing really well today.
You are.
But man, if I had this, you know what I'm saying? So I just that's what would be my thought for men. Don't be thinking about so much right now. You always got to be thinking several steps down the road.
Right.
So that's it, man. And then know what you want from a woman. Know how a woman can help you.
And be honest enough to evaluate if and what value she's bringing to you.
Absolutely. It's like I said with the whole job description thing, the whole business thing. A company knows who's a good fit. You look good on paper, but are you a cultural fit? That's what the interview process is for.
Right.
That's what the dates are for. Yeah. Do you fit my culture? You look good on paper. You got all the things I'm looking for on the surface. Do you fit my life? Mm-hmm. Are we going in separate directions? Is there alignment there? That's what those are things that you have to evaluate. But if you ain't even thinking about that, you may want to stay off in them streets, but you still got to have your character with you.
Right.
That's
what we say, man. Protect your character.
Because you can still get done dirty.
Yes.
With never signing them wedding papers.
Right.
The state's still in your pockets.
I'm willing to believe the right woman will respect the fact that you're protecting your character.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In fact, a woman with character herself feels safe with a man with character. She can trust you if you have character. You ain't got character. That's probably why she fighting you the way she fighting you. That's probably why there's friction. Your character a little.
I could think back to times where my character was definitely absent. Yeah. So I'm not. I don't want people to think we're being preachy, but I know I've gone through this.
Listen, we ain't telling you the best sermons are the ones you live yourself.
Yes.
My wife has pushed back on me, and come to find out, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah. Last week when I said I had to apologize, there was a reason she was pushing back. I was wrong.
Right. Yeah.
She ain't crazy. She ain't no combative woman. I was wrong. So that's just kind of my thoughts, gentlemen, on it. Is this that I know I've said a lot. It's just I've realized that there's a lot we have to just speak against in terms of society and its conditioning and programming. And, you know, still thinking back to our communities, still thinking back to helping the black community, we need some families in here.
It would not hurt.
But I mean, the real preaching is going on on social media, TikTok, rappers. Them your real pastors right there. I mean, we can get preachy, but shoot, the real sermon's going on out there.
Right.
Someone's got to say something about it. This is my whole thing. I'm realizing I'm just being really introspective, and I'm really listening to men's concerns, and I think it's valid. And I think for brothers like us who are married, I have to kind of revisit my approach. So I've kind of changed. I've tweaked it a bit. Still believe in marriage because I just think state laws and our society has changed, and it's made marriage unattractive.
Yeah,
to a lot of men.
for sure.
Like, you got some thoughts, man? we was
Forgot I was here for a minute there.
That look you gave us definitely indicates that.
No, I guess one thing I thought about is just dating and women in general. Is like there's so many like independent women now. It's like, what is it that I can do for them that they can't do for themselves right now? Like, what can I do for you? And I'm like, I was come up with a blank, like, they got everything. Like, why would they need me at this point? And the thing is, like, as a guy, I want to be needed. Mm-hmm. I want you to need me for something, but if you don't, like,
what are we doing?
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Do you need a man?
Say what?
Do you need a man?
Do I need a man?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't.
See what I did there?
I do.
Yeah, I had to like. I'm like, okay, he's going with. I'm like,
you're yeah. I'm not playing you. But do you see what I'm saying? And that's if again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. But women have got the battery put in their back to be the same thing they want deep down. You become the very thing you desire.
That's wild.
And there's no checks there's no checks. There's no checks and balances. When we did try to have checks and balances, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What is Young Z gonna do in this society?
It's almost like, and I couldn't do it. It's like, you want me to just be a cheerleader or something? Like, just support you? And I'm like, I don't have that kind of energy. Like, I can support you in some instances, but like, if we coming into this relationship and we're equals, like, I don't know where I fit in with that.
Yeah. Because there's going to be certain things you need from her because y'all are different. You're built different. You're going to require some things from her that only she can give you. She's going to require some things that only you can. It's like only one person can drive the car at one time.
Oof.
And we're determined to drive it. You can call it ego, you can call it, but that's how we're designed. That's how we're designed. We intend to drive the car.
And with today's scenarios, it's like, I guess we're just going to drive out separate cars and meet up there. We're just going to meet there because you can drive, like you said, you can drive your own car. I can drive mine. We'll just meet there.
Yeah.
But what's the purpose in doing that?
What are we doing together then? We doing nothing. We're two individuals
being miserable
with a contract. With a contract, we're two single people with a marriage contract instead of one
with a covenant.
Bars, by the way.
Every now and then. Don't get used to this, y'all.
You got anything else, man, on that?
Nah, man.
It was heavy on my heart.
I'm glad you shared it, bro.
Oh, you shared a lot.
You did. What else you got on your chest?
This is definitely like the Ronnie Guthrie show, this episode.
It's tough to really. It's easy to not put myself in a single man's shoes, right? It's easy, and I'll be honest. I'm tough on guys. I really am. I've been tough on guys.
We can handle it.
Yeah. So what?
I said we can handle it.
But we should be.
Yeah, we should be.
Okay.
But at the same time, I don't always achieve this, but I pride myself on being objective and fair. And there's a point where I've had to realize, okay, in holding men accountable for their stuff, I have to also listen. They're not always wrong.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So in hearing that, I've realized, what I'm seeing women do. I watch women, and then I'll watch my wife. I watch women, and I'll watch my mom. I watch women, and I'll watch other women and some of this stuff ain't translating. And I'm like, ooh, we got a problem. We got a problem because men haven't really changed much. So I don't, I think a larger conversation has to be had in our community for this. This is a start.
It starts here. I was just about to say that.
Yeah, it starts here, and I'm looking forward to having women on where we can actually have these conversations and ask some thought-provoking questions and get some understanding, man. So this is the start of some good stuff down the line that we're going to do, just so we can get to. Hopefully get to an understanding. If we get to an understanding, bro, this was worth it.
Keep Your Point Podcast.